Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to Live PST with Allan. It is Thursday, September 3rd. Yes, that is correct. Okay guys, so of course, like every day, we have a lot of stuff to do today. First class today, we're going to be doing a grammar practice. So this will be a really good review for practicing our grammar focus for this week, which is all about modals. But we're going to be kind of diving into talking about obligation, right? And how to express obligation through some practice activities. Now, in our second class today, we're going to be doing a review of our vocabulary and talking about shopping, expressions, and some clothing stuff. And maybe we'll look at a couple of different questions, etc. And in our third class today, we're going to be doing a reading article. So hopefully that will also be interesting. The reading article is about one of the world's largest online companies, Amazon. So, wow, not the forest, the company. Ooh, bad joke. Okay. All right, guys. So, yeah, try to remember, what was our grammar topic for this week? Our grammar topic, of course, was modals, right? And like we've been talking about this week, modals are helping verbs, right? They kind of help out other verbs, and they're used to express so many different things, right? They can be used to ask for permission. They can be used to request something. They can be used to express obligation, etc., etc., etc. And that's what we're going to start with this morning. We're going to be looking at a practice activity that practices how to express obligation. So what I would like you guys to do is to find this sheet here. It says David's Day, right? Now, I have to take a quick look at the notes here, but this is pretty straightforward. So please take a look at this sheet here. It says David has many things to do today. So just like you guys, he's got a huge list of things to do. On his desk are some items he needs to achieve today's tasks. So let's take a look at his items list. We have an ATM card, a shopping list, a parcel, so parcel is like a package, a dentist appointment card, a dry cleaning ticket, an electric bill and a gas bill, dog shampoo, so I guess David has a dog, good for David, I'm so jealous, I don't have a dog, a broken cup, and some super glue. That's kind of the strangest one here, but anyhow, beneath that, of course, we have a bunch of other vocabulary. Post, go, get, mend, collect, pay, buy, wash, bills, food, dog, dentist, parcel, dry cleaning, money, cup. So it's a mix of nouns and some verbs here as well, right? Now it says, look at the items and use the verbs and nouns in the box to write sentences about what David has to do today. All right, so we've got a big list in A here. And actually, I should erase the modals here. 1 second, guys. And call this David's Day. All right, so David's Day. And in part A, we've got 8 different sentences that we need to make based upon the vocabulary in the box, right? So again, it says, look at the items and use the verbs and nouns in the box to write sentences about what David has to do today. So, yeah, you're going to write about what David has to do today. So you got to look at the items in the box and use the verbs and nouns in the box to write sentences with has to, right? Because the main focus of this is writing about what David has to do today. So let's think here. We've got all these words here. We have to use has to, we have to use a verb, and we have to use a noun, right? So we could think of things like, now, of course, you also have to relate it to what he has to do. So if we think an ATM card, so you have to relate it to the item. So let's think like he's got an ATM card on his desk, right? So what is he going to do with an ATM card, right? what do people usually do with ATM cards? Well, either they go and check their bank account and then deposit some money. They put some money into their account. So deposit is kind of a useful word, right? Deposit a check, deposit money in your bank account, or they withdraw money from their bank account, right? So to withdraw and deposit are different. Deposit is put money in. Withdraw is take money, take money out. So either David's taking money out or he's putting money in. My guess is he's probably taking money out. So for David, maybe we're going to write, so again, we have to use has, right? He has, now with has, of course, we have to have to. He has to do what? Post, go, get, men, collect, pay, buy, wash, bills, food, dog, dentist, parcel, dry cleaning, money. Okay, so what we could do for an ATM card is he has to get some money. That's what we could say. Yeah, he has to get some money. That's a good match for number 1 ATM card. So we got rid of get and we got rid of money. Okay, let's do number 2 and relate it to the second item on the list here. The second item on the list is a shopping list. So if he has a shopping list, what is he going to do today, right? Or what does he have to do? He has to do some grocery shopping, right? But let's see what we can do here. So he has to, and let's take a look at our list, go So we can't use get because we use get. Okay, maybe buy. He has to buy some food. There we go. He has to buy some food. Now, we can end the sentence here. That's good enough. Of course, we could expand on this and say he has to buy some food at the grocery market or at the grocery store, or at the supermarket, but that's good enough. Okay, so continuing onwards with David's day. The third item is a parcel. Now, parcel is used in Canadian and American English. It's more often used in British English. A parcel is just a package, right? Something that you would either send or receive through the mail, right? So this is obviously related to the mail. So let's think about this. Okay, so we could use post, right? Now, I'm going to be honest here. A lot of Canadians and Americans, we don't use the verb post. So post, though, as a verb means to send mail or a package. But I think because he has a parcel, he's probably going to be sending something. So I think I can start this. He has to post, and what do we have here? He has to post, pretty easy. He has to post a parcel, right? He has to post a parcel. Yeah, pretty easy. All right. Okay, let's move on to the fourth one, a dentist appointment card. So we know that David has to go to see the dentist, right? So he has to, and let's take a look here. Could just be go, and then we got dentist. Oh yeah, nice and easy. So he has to go to. Now, with dentists, you can either say or the dentist. Either or is really okay. We usually say the dentist because everybody has one dentist, right? Usually you sign up with someone and you have just that person. So we usually just say the dentist. If it's like his first visit and he doesn't have a designated dentist, then we might say a dentist, but usually we'll say the dentist. So he has to go to a dentist. Okay. All right, guys. Number 5, he has a dry cleaning ticket. Okay, so I guess he has to pick up some dry cleaning. So let's think about that. Oh, I use go here. Go, post, buy, get, money, food, parcel, dentist. Okay. So he's going to go get his dry cleaning from a laundromat. But we can't use get. Maybe collect. Maybe he's going to collect it. So he has to collect his dry cleaning. Okay, there we go. So we got collect, dry cleaning. Okay, done. All right, let's take a look at number 6, guys. Number 6, an electric bill and a gas bill. All right. So he's got 2 bills. He needs to pay his bills. So, obviously we're going to use bills. And pay. Yeah, there we go. He has to pay his bills, right? And there we go. So we got pay and bills. Excellent. So, okay, number 7, dog shampoo. Okay, so if he's got dog shampoo, I guess he needs to clean his dog, right? Or wash his dog. So let's say he has to wash his dog. He is a good master for his dog because he's washing him. All right, so by process of elimination, we know what the last one is, right? A broken cup and some super glue. He has super glue, so he can fix something, right? And he's going to fix that cup. Now, we have the verb here, mend. Mend can be used in North American English. It's not so common. Mend basically has the same meaning as fix. In my opinion, though, for most Americans and Canadians, it's better to use the verb fix. This is more commonly used by us. Mend, not so much. But anyhow, yeah, let's say here, he has to mend a broken cup. Or, yeah, let's say broken. Let's include that. A broken cup. All right, good. So we got David's day done. The important thing here is to remember we're using has to. And we're using has to express obligations. These are things that David has to do, must do. He can't avoid them. He has to do it, right? Now, it says in B here, write a short paragraph about what you have to do today using have to. So what you guys need to do is make some sentences using has to, or in this case, because you're using I, the subject I have to blah, blah, blah. So what I could do, guys, is maybe just provide you guys with a few examples, but you guys should be doing this at home, of course, but I at least can give you guys a few examples. Now, this one here, you're not going to be numbering them, right? But you do have to somehow start this paragraph. And it doesn't have to be a long paragraph, but so you're going to be like, maybe I'm going to give it a title. Usually people make a list and they might call it something like this. They might call it my to-do list. Ugh, why does that look so ugly, right? Now, usually on a to-do list, they'll just be using bullet points. You know, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? But instead, of course, we're writing a paragraph, and that's okay. It's not common, but that's just fine, right? So my to-do list, I'm going to write, I have a lot of things to do today. I have to organize my apartment. So I moved into a new apartment recently, just actually yesterday. And we moved most of our stuff in, but it's not organized, right? It's pretty disorganized right now. So I have to organize my apartment. That's one thing I need to do. I have to prepare dinner for my family. And of course myself. So it's my night to cook dinner, so I have to prepare dinner for my family and myself today, right? Let's think, what else do I have to do? I have to have a meeting with my colleagues, right? Almost, well, not every day, but once a week, twice a week, I have to meet with my colleagues at my workplace, and we need to discuss something, right? I don't know what our agenda is for this week, but we do have to meet up, and we do have to discuss something. So that's going to be exciting, right? I'm so excited to have a meeting with my colleagues, right? Hooray! Maybe we'll share lots of jokes and lots of laughter. Maybe not, though. I don't know. Maybe it'll be professional. Okay, guys, maybe one or two more sentences. I have to, well, actually, just like David, I have to pay some bills. Yeah, right? I have to pay some bills. I think I have to pay my internet bill, and I have to pay my BC Hydro bill, which is all about electricity and water. So yeah, I gotta pay my bills pretty soon here. And, oh, one other thing I have to do, I have to call my internet provider. So I need to change my service a little bit. So I have to call my internet provider and then see if I can get a better deal out of them, or get them to come to my new apartment and set up my internet sooner than they said they could, because nobody likes waiting for, a service person to come and set up their internet, right? Because we have a long weekend coming here in Canada. The day after tomorrow, on Saturday, we've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday is a holiday called Labor Day, which is meant to celebrate laborers or workers in Canada, and therefore we have a day off. But my internet provider said they cannot come and set up the internet until Tuesday. So that would mean I might have to spend the whole weekend without internet. No, right? This is a catastrophe. This is Armageddon. It's the apocalypse, right? So what I need to do is give them a call and see if they could set it up sooner, because I don't want to wait. Just like you guys probably wouldn't want to wait. I'm pretty sure if you live in Korea and you want internet, bam, you can get it super fast, right? But in Canada, we don't have, the big problem is we don't have enough competition. We don't have enough internet providers, so they're a little bit lazy, to be honest. All right, guys, so that's my to-do list. It's not really a list, of course, it's a paragraph. But yeah, what you guys should do is take the time to write and create your own to-do list. It might actually be helpful for you guys because maybe you have a lot of stuff to do today and your to-do list might help you. But it's also good for learning and practicing how to express obligation. So it is really good. Anyhow, guys, let me erase this here. We are done with David's day. It is quite a good practice activity, but let's take a look at our next practice activity. All right, guys. So the next one here, I don't think this one is exactly about obligation. Well, maybe it is actually, but you guys should take a look at this one here. And it says how to ... And actually this one is, yeah, it is about obligation, but something else. Modal verbs of obligation and prohibition. Right? Prohibition, things you cannot do, right? Don't do that. It's prohibited. Don't drink that juice, right? Anyhow, so what you got to do here, it says, in this activity, students complete sentences expressing obligation for how to topics, and then use the sentences in a guessing game. Ooh, a guessing game could be fun. So anyhow, it says, demonstrate by writing the following on the board. Okay, so I got to write something on the board here. The first part is how to pass an exam. And then after, we have things like you must, you have to, you should, you don't have to, you mustn't, you shouldn't, and there we go. Now, I want you guys to think about how could we complete these sentences here, expressing obligation for the given topic, right? The given topic here is how to pass an exam. So you guys should try to think, how can we use the beginning of these sentences here to fill them out in relation to how to pass an exam? So what do you guys think? Now, for how to pass an exam, we could have some simple things. You must study hard. You have to read all the chapters, for example. You should, I might say get enough sleep, because a lot of times I stayed up too late studying and actually it didn't really help me. Get enough sleep. You don't have to. That's a good one. What do you not have to do for an exam? You don't have to memorize everything. That's actually not helpful. You mustn't. You mustn't wake up late, right? If you do that, you're going to be in big trouble. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't be late for class. All right, so these are my ideas. Of course, you could just like have this one. You must study hard, you have to study hard, you should study hard. And you don't have to memorize everything. You mustn't memorize everything. You shouldn't memorize everything. But I wanted to mix it up, right? All right, so these are my answers for how to pass an exam, right? Or things you should do. So, you guys are going to write similar sentences in pairs or individually. So, you guys each get one of these cards. So, ideally, you guys have a printer at home. You print this off. You cut it into 6 cards. Now, at the top, you have like the topic, how to something. And then you have the beginning of the sentence. You have to, you must, you should. You don't have to, you mustn't, and you shouldn't, right? And then, so you guys are given a topic, and then you have to, with your partner or individually, you have to write as many sentences as you can, as quickly as you can, right? So, you may how-to topics on the board. Okay, so you have to, what we're supposed to do here actually is together, guys, we have to brainstorm some how-to topics. So maybe let's do that. So topics that you could use for these cards. So we've got 6 different cards. Maybe we should think of at least 6 different topics. How to ... Okay, let's think number 1. Now, before we had how to pass an exam, let's think here. How to be a good student. Let's say that's 1, right? Or number 2, how to find a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? That's like an exciting one for young students, right? How to become successful, right? Ooh, that's a tough one. How to how to cook a good meal. That one's actually kind of hard. I don't know what the answers would be, even though I cook 2 or 3 times a week. How to avoid, this one's really tough, but how to avoid getting in trouble. And lastly, how to well, become successful. I don't want to say make a lot of money. How to be healthy. All right, so there we go. So there are the 6 topics. So the 6 topics are, you guys pick one of these topics, and then you have to fill in those sentences, right? So remember, they were you have to, you must, you should, ... you don't have to, you mustn't, which I think is a little bit hard to pronounce, but anyhow, and you shouldn't, whoops, or you should not. All right, so you got some topics, you pick one of these, and then you start writing about it, and you try to write as quickly as possible. Now, this actually is a pretty good activity. The only problem is we can't really play this because, you know, maybe you guys can't print this off and you can't cut it out and all this kind of stuff. But maybe what I could do here is demonstrate a little bit. Maybe I will try to pick a random one here between 1 to 6. The only problem is I don't have some dice. It'd be really cool if I did, and then I could roll the dice and pick one. So of course, and what you're trying to do here is you're expressing obligation about what you have to do for these things, and also prohibition. So prohibition, of course, are the negatives, and the affirmative or the positive ones are obligation. Let me see here. How can I randomly pick something between 1 to 6 without a pair of dice? Let's see if I can find online dice here. 1 second, guys. Just checking my phone to see if I can find online dice. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Dice roller at random.org. Roll dice. You rolled 2 dice. Wait, I don't want 2 dice. I want 1 dice. Okay, 1 dice. Okay, roll dice. Let's see. Bum. Oh, I got a 6. Okay, so that means I need to talk about how to be healthy. Damn it. This is the hardest one for me because this is what I'm trying to do recently because I need to lose weight, right? So anyhow, how to be healthy. So I got to think of ways I can make sentences that express obligation and prohibition. So I think, of course, you have to eat more vegetables and fruits. You must cut down on, and that's a good expression, I'll talk about that in a second, cut down on carbohydrates. And that's another useful word. You should work out regularly. Okay, all right, so I got my 3 sentences that express obligation for how to be healthy. You don't have to, okay, you don't have to what? You don't have to, I don't know, for losing weight. You don't have to, I would say you don't have to stop eating meat, right? Some people think eating meat is bad. Like a lot of vegetarians or vegans, they think like, oh, meat is murder and it's bad for your health, right? But no, meat is like super good for your health. So you don't have to stop eating meat. You mustn't, of course, this one is a good one for me. You mustn't smoke, right? You shouldn't be smoking. That's not good for being healthy. That's something I need to learn. You shouldn't. You shouldn't eat out, right? Now, eat out, of course, means like go to a restaurant and get a bunch of junk food, like go to McDonald's and get a bunch of Big Macs and McChickens and chicken nuggets and eat them all. That's not good for you, right? You need to lose weight. What are you doing eating chicken nuggets with sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's at 11 p.m. at night? That's not a good idea. Anyhow, I think my list makes sense though. You have to eat more vegetables and fruits. You must cut down on carbohydrates. Now, actually, cut down here, guys. Cut down is a really good phrasal verb, and it is always paired with the preposition on. Cut down on. So, really good expression. To cut down on basically means to just reduce, right? So, you must cut down on carbohydrates. I'm saying here, carbohydrates are things like rice, potatoes, bread, pasta, that kind of stuff, right? So I think a lot of people agree these days that like carbohydrates are still an important part of a person's diet, and we should be eating carbohydrates. But these days I think people eat too many or consume too much carbohydrates, so we need to cut down on carbohydrates if we want to lose weight. I guess that's one of the suggestions. Anyhow, that's what I've heard. And you should work out regularly. Now remember, of course, work out means exercise. You should exercise regularly, right? Regularly means on a regular basis, right? Once every 2 days or maybe every day you should be working out, right? So if you can work out regularly, cut down on carbohydrates, eat more vegetables and fruits, you will definitely become a healthier person. But in addition to that, you don't have to stop eating meat. Of course, no. Eating meat is great for losing weight and staying healthy, right? This is something that vegans and vegetarians, they just don't understand, right? They think you have to remove meat. Wrong! Removing meat is bad for you. Anyhow, you mustn't smoke. Of course, for your overall health, smoking is bad. I know this personally because I am and I was a smoker. I am a smoker. Smoking is bad. I should quit very soon. You shouldn't eat out. Yeah, you shouldn't go to, if you want to be healthy, you shouldn't be eating out. Now, I should say, maybe I should modify this. You shouldn't eat out so much, right? I think going out once every 2 weeks, twice a month, is probably not a big deal. But if you're eating out, like every day or something like that, that's really not good, right? That's not good for your health. All right, guys, so that was an example for one. Maybe let's do 1 or 2 more here. So let me erase this one. Maybe this is kind of fun for myself, even though it's just my own ideas. So we already did number 6, so we won't be talking about how to be healthy. So let me roll my virtual dice or my online dice again, and let's see what I get. 3. All right, so what do we got for 3? I can't remember. How to become successful. Oh dear, this is a very hard topic for me. This is something I do think about quite a bit, right? Okay, so I'm gonna write for the first one here. You have to be focused. You have to be focused, right? You gotta focus on your aim your goal, your mission, right? And you got to be focused on your job. Whatever it is, if you want to be successful, I think you got to be focused. You don't want to be lazy and you don't want to be distracted, right? You must, I think also here, this is pretty simple, but you must work hard, right? Of course, if you want to be successful, you got to work hard. I don't think there are a lot of successful people who don't work hard, right? Those would be people that just got really lucky. Maybe they won the lottery, or well, maybe some of them had a good invention and they didn't actually work too hard, and congratulations, good for them. Anyhow, you should. You should, what else could I say here? You should, maybe, okay, this will be a tough one. Devote a lot of time to your passion. So I think a lot of successful people, not all successful people, and I don't think this is always true, but a lot of successful people who invent something or start a business or involved in medicine or science or whatever, they're very passionate about their focus, right? Whether that's science or medicine or starting this new store, starting this new product, selling this new service. But yeah, you need to devote, or you should devote, a lot of time to your passion. And to devote means like to spend a lot of time doing something, right? To set aside that time to do it. So those are our 3 sentences expressing obligation for how to become successful. Let's think about 3 sentences that express prohibition for how to become successful. So you don't have to. You don't have to. Well, I would hope this is true. You don't have to neglect your family. So, of course, yeah, you need to work hard, you need to focus, but at the same time, I don't think you have to totally ignore and neglect your family and just focus on your passion and your mission. I don't think you should do this. So even though you are working hard, don't neglect your family. That's just my own kind of personal advice. I don't know if that's true. You mustn't. Oh, I think there are some people who start a business or they start a new service, and sometimes they borrow too much money to get started with, and then they go into too much debt and actually they fail, right? So I'm going to say here, you mustn't borrow too much money. I'm getting lazy, so I'll just put a dollar sign here. You mustn't borrow too much money. That is not a good idea. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. What should you not do? You shouldn't do what? You shouldn't. Oh, okay, pretty easy one. I'm just going to say here, you shouldn't waste your time, right? If you want to be successful, like, of course, you're going to waste time sometimes. It's okay. You're going to watch Netflix once in a while, play a game with a friend, go out drinking with an old buddy of yours. That's fine. But you don't want to waste too much time, right? Anyhow, so again, those are my 6 sentences expressing prohibition for things you 3 sentences expressing prohibition for how to become successful, and 3 sentences expressing obligation for how to become successful. Let's do one more, and then I think we'll take a break here, guys. So I'm going to roll my virtual online dice again, and we'll see what I get. So we've already discussed how to be healthy and how to become successful. Let's see. Oh, I got a 6 again. Nope, doesn't work. Roll again. 1. Okay, that's kind of a boring time. For me, maybe. Okay, how to be a good student. Okay, so I'm going to think from my perspective as a teacher, right? What do I want to see in a good student? You have to, okay, number one thing for languages, though, you have to speak up. Over the years and years of my time spent teaching ESL to students, I have realized that the students who are most likely to succeed and who are most likely to see a big improvement in their English skills are the students who consistently speak up, right? In English, of course, right? And they try and they engage with me and they engage with other students. The students who make slower progress tend to be quiet students. This is a little bit sad because I was a quiet student when I was younger too. But I really think when it comes to languages, you gotta speak up because that's practice in of itself, right? And you gotta make mistakes. You have to have no fear. So yeah, you must, that's another important one. You must not, actually I should use that for this one. You mustn't be afraid of making mistakes. You mustn't be afraid of making mistakes. You shouldn't make mistakes, right? Making mistakes is something that happens when you're learning a new language, especially when it comes to speaking practice. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Try to learn from your mistakes and get better, right? So you mustn't be afraid of making mistakes, and you have to speak up, right? Okay, what are some other things for being a good student? Now, I'm kind of specifically thinking about being a good student in an ESL class, but this could be more general, right? You must be punctual. Now, honestly, this isn't a really huge thing, but all teachers like punctual students, and punctual students will learn a little bit more. Now, punctual means like, if as an adjective, of course, if somebody says, you are punctual, it means that you are the kind of person that always shows up on time, right? You're never really late. You're punctual, right? Teachers and workers, we should be punctual. We should always show up to work on time or a little bit early, right? But it's a good habit for students to get into as well. It's good for you guys to be punctual, right? Try to show up on time. If even better, try to show up a little bit early. Sometimes if you get to class early, the teacher will be there, and if you're having trouble with something, you can get some more time with them, right? And ask them some questions. So you must be punctual. You should. You should, what should you do? You should study, how can I say this? I'm going to say here, okay, you should work smart, not too hard, right? A lot of people say you should work hard. This is true. Working hard is good. But a lot of time people who work hard, especially when it comes to learning English, they just end up memorizing a lot of stuff. And sometimes that's not really useful, right? It's better to study or work smart, right? Try to study in an innovative way. One of my friends who is really good at learning languages, what he did was he would just have cards and put vocabulary on them and put it around his room. And then he would look at these cards once in a while, not spend a long time, but look at the cards once in a while, look at those words and think about how to make sentences out of them. And then he would have friends who spoke that language, and then he would go talk to them and practice and make mistakes, and they would correct him, and he'd get better. And he was kind of a genius. He was really good at this. But it really depends on the person. There are other people I know who just watched movies in English and copied the actors and actresses, and they got really good. So people do learn in different ways, but try to work smart, not hard, or not too hard anyhow. Now, you don't have to, ... With languages like English or whatever, you don't have to memorize everything. Trying to memorize everything is actually really stupid. I've seen students do this for like the TOEIC test or for IELTS. They end up memorizing a lot of stuff, and then they take the IELTS test or they take TOEIC. Sometimes they do really good, but right after they take the test and they get this high mark, they actually don't speak English very well. Like I remember meeting a friend of a friend in Korea who, like, my friend was like, oh, he got like 900 something something on the TOEIC test. I was like, okay. And then I met him. I'm like, hey man, what's up? And he couldn't answer me. And actually, I couldn't really understand his English. So even though he got a high mark because he memorized everything, his English was kind of garbage. Anyhow, last one we got here, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. What should you not do when you are trying to be a good student? You shouldn't joke around too much, right? It's okay to joke around, but not too much. If you joke around too much, you're going to waste time. If you want to learn English, you have to speak up and be punctual and work smart. You don't want to joke around. But anyhow, guys, let's stop it there. Let's take a 10-minute break. When we come back, we're going to get into some vocabulary practice. So I'll see you again in 10 minutes. Hey guys, welcome back to Live PST. We are now in our second class on Thursday, September 3rd, and we need to talk about some vocabulary. So guys, take a look at this sheet here. At the top it says shopping vocabulary, expressions, and phrases. Okay, so that's wonderful. So what we're gonna do, guys, is actually, we looked at this on Monday, right? But this is kind of review. So we're gonna run through this list, talk about these words. I don't think I'll go into detail because we did look at this on Monday. And yeah, let's see how this goes. After we're done this, we do have kind of an activity related to fashion. Yay, fashion, one of my favorite topics. Actually, no, it's not. But anyhow, so let's take a look here, guys. At the top of our list, we have bargain hunting. Do you guys remember what is bargain hunting? So remember, a bargain basically means a good deal, right? Everybody likes a bargain, right? Because a bargain means it's cheaper than it usually is, right? So bargain hunting is like hunting, looking for a bargain, right? Where's the bargain? Where's the bargain? So that's what it says here. Spend time in the shops looking for items to buy at the lowest prices, right? So for example, my wife likes to do bargain hunting, right? And go bargain hunting. Because she likes to, basically my wife likes shopping, but she's also at the same time quite thrifty. And remember, thrifty people don't like to waste money. So my wife likes to buy things when they're on sale, right? So she loves bargain hunting. So the example here says, during the sales, I go bargain hunting with my friends. So maybe when it's Boxing Day in Canada on December 26th, when there's a lot of good sales, people love to go bargain hunting, looking for items at a cheap price, right? Because they can save a lot of money. Anyhow, how about you guys? Do you guys like bargain hunting? I do like bargain hunting, but I don't really like shopping that much. So that's just me. Let's take a look at the next expression we have here, to do the shopping. And then after that, we have go shopping. So just remember, to do the shopping and to go shopping are completely different. To do the shopping means to go shopping regularly to buy food and other necessities, right? Necessities are things that are necessary for your life. So, of course, every week my wife and I usually have to go shopping twice to buy food, diapers, maybe some medicine, stuff like that, right? For our two daughters and for ourselves, right? So we do the shopping twice a week. So the example we have here is Jack and I generally do the shopping together on Saturday mornings. Well, good for this person and Jack because they do it on Saturday mornings and then they get it out of the way for the rest of the week, right? My wife and I, we usually do the shopping once on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and then my wife will do some more shopping maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday while I'm at work, right? So to do the shopping is a useful expression. So the next expression we have here is to go shopping, which is not the same thing. So to go shopping just means to go to shops to buy things, but these are not regular things. These are not, this is not related to buying groceries. This is not related to buying necessities. This is more about buying clothes or electronics or furniture or something like that, right? To go shopping. So the example we have here is, she is gone shopping. I have no idea when she'll be back. So I could also ask you guys, do you enjoy going shopping, right? Do you like to go shopping? Yes, I do enjoy going shopping, right? I don't know, I don't, but anyhow, maybe you guys do. Okay, other than that, guys, we have the next expression being fitting room. Now, a fitting room is just a room where you can try on clothes. So whether you're in Uniqlo, Gap, Zara, H&M, etc., when you find some new clothes, you might be wondering, how do I look when I wear these clothes? Or how's the size? Maybe I gotta try it on. So in that case, you gotta go to the fitting room and try on your clothes. So it says here, a place to try on clothes to see if they fit or suit you. The example here is not bad. I need your opinion. Will you come with me to the fitting room? No, no, I won't. I don't know you, right? But anyhow, yeah, if you're in the Gap or H&M and you find something you like, but you're just not so sure, like, does this fit me, or like, does this actually look good on me? Maybe you ask a shop assistant or you ask a sales rep. You're like, oh, excuse me, where's the fitting room? Oh, the fitting room is over there. And you're like, okay, great. I'm gonna try these clothes on in the fitting room and see if they suit me. And I know, like, a lot of women, when they go shopping together with other women, they're like, hey, come with me. Let's go to the fitting room. Like, I want your opinion, right? Okay, next thing we have here, guys, is I can't afford it, right? Now, actually, the basic thing we're looking at here is to afford something. To afford something itself is useful, right? If you can afford something, that means you can pay for it. So if somebody says, I can't afford it, that means they do not have enough money to pay for something or to buy something, right? So the example this person has here is, I'd love that jacket, but I can't afford it, right? That jacket's great, but I can't buy it because I don't have enough money. I can't afford it. I can't pay for that jacket, right? Like my wife and I, we could afford to buy a new car. Actually, we could get a BMW or we could get a Tesla if we wanted to. We have enough money saved up, but we're not so stupid, right? Because we're saving money. So even though we can't afford it, we convince ourselves that we can't afford it because we are continuing to save money. Okay, guys, anyhow, after that we have in stock and out of stock. To be in stock and to be out of stock. So that means whether a store actually has an item or some of that item or does not have some of that item. So to be available or unavailable in a shop or store. So the example here is, oh, I'm very sorry. I'm afraid the color you want is out of stock, right? So sometimes, you know, when you're in a shoe store or you're in a clothing store, you find something you like, but maybe the size is too small or too big for you, right? So you ask a sales rep or you ask a shop assistant, like, hey, do you have this in a smaller size? And then they take a look, they're like, oh, sorry, we're out of stock. We don't have any more available, right? Or maybe you're lucky and they say, yeah, actually, we have that in stock. It's in stock. It is available. It's out of stock. You're out of luck. You don't have it. Okay, next one here, guys, is a good expression that I do use sometimes. It costs a fortune. Something costs a fortune means something is really, really, really expensive, right? Because a fortune, like fortune is actually a good thing, right? Fortune can have a couple of different meanings. I know fortune in Korean is daebak, right? I think. Daebak, fortune. Maybe I'm wrong. But fortune can have the meaning of luck, but it can also have the meaning of like a lot of money, right? So if you say it costs a fortune, you're just saying it costs a lot of money, right? So our example here is, look at the price of that bag. It costs a fortune, right? So maybe they're in like the Gucci store or Louis Vuitton, and they're like, oh man, that bag costs a fortune, right? That bag is too expensive, right? Okay, it costs a fortune. Next expression basically has the same meaning. It costs an arm and a leg, but the real meaning behind this is actually really interesting. Like the actual meaning is like, it's like saying this product or this service is so expensive that in order to pay for it, I need to cut off my arm and cut off my leg and pay with those because it's so expensive. So yeah, it has the same meaning basically as it costs a fortune. It just means cost a lot of money, to be very expensive. So the example here is, the diamond engagement ring costs an arm and a leg, right? So I think that's kind of funny. Sorry guys, I'm just getting a drink of coffee really quick. But when you get engaged, right? So if you're a woman or a guy, so let's say you've been with your partner for a long time. Let's say you're a guy. You've been with your partner for a long time. you really like her, right? Or him, maybe you're gay, that's totally fine. You really like your partner, right? They're a great person, you love them, and you can see a future with them. Now, if you want to get married, couple of steps, right? First, you need to propose, right? You need to get down on your knee and say, will you marry me? Please be my wife or husband, right? So you need to propose, like to ask somebody to marry you. Now, propose actually has more than that meaning, but first you need to propose. If the person agrees, if your partner agrees, says, yes, I will get married to you, then you are engaged, right? And that is to be engaged, right? And so your engagement period, or when you are engaged, that is a time in between they accept your proposal to the point where you get married, right? Usually people propose and then they set the wedding for, I don't know, 6 months later, 1 year later. 1 year is probably usually the maximum. If it's longer than that, I don't know, it's kind of weird, I guess. But yeah, you get engaged, right? You propose and you get engaged if the person accepts. And then, of course, but before you propose and get engaged, you need to buy this thing, an engagement ring, all right? An engagement ring, and then you got to buy that other ring for the wedding band, right? So there's an idea in American and Canadian culture, and maybe it's in your culture too, that the cost of the ring should be worth 3 months' salary for the man. So if the guy makes, let's say, $3,000 a month, the ring should cost $9,000. That is the idea, right? That idea has existed in our culture for a fair amount of time. But I think that's completely ridiculous. That is such a huge waste of money, right? Why would you spend so much money on a ring that they are going to take off, and then you have to buy another ring for the actual wedding band? Why spend so much money? I'm really thankful that my wife is a pretty thrifty person, so she didn't really care too much. But I know some friends who bought very expensive rings for their partners, and then sometimes the relationship didn't work out, and then, they can't get that ring back. So it's like throwing money straight down the toilet, right? Anyhow, so yeah, engagement rings cost an arm and a leg though, right? Especially if you're stupid and you actually spend 3 months worth of your salary on it. Guys, don't do it. It's not worth it, right? Ladies, try to understand. Anyhow, let's move on. Basically, the next one here has the opposite meaning. It's a steal. If something is a steal, it's so cheap, you feel like you're stealing it because it's such a good deal, right? So yeah, so cheap that it's almost as if you haven't paid anything for it. So the example here is, at that price, it's a steal. You won't find one cheaper in any other shop, right? Wow, that sounds great. That's awesome, right? It's a steal. It's so cheap. Cool, right? I can't think recently of anything that when I really thought recently, wow, that's a steal. Maybe my friend or colleague mentioned buying something recently and I thought, wow, that's really cheap. It's a steal. Or in a certain way, like my wife and I just moved into a new apartment and we got $300 off per month. So that brings down the monthly rental cost about 15%. So we thought, like, yeah, that's a steal. Like, that's pretty good. Usually this apartment is really expensive and now it's just kind of expensive. So we took it. Anyhow, guys, let's take a look at the next one. It's good value for money. So we had it's a fortune. We had it cost an arm and a leg. That both of those mean it's too expensive. Then we had it's a steal. It's super cheap. And now we have it's good value for money. So is good value for money means it is worth the money spent on it. So it means like it's a good product. It doesn't mean that it's expensive or cheap. It means the amount of money you're spending on it is a good deal because it's a good product, right? So the example here is the quality is excellent, so it is good value for money, right? A lot of people might think about this when they think of like Apple products. Apple products are expensive, but they work really well in general, right? And they last for a long time. They're quite durable, they're quite reliable. So a lot of people think, oh, when they buy an Apple iPhone or iMac or whatever, they think it's good value for money, right? And I usually agree with them. Like Mac products or Apple products usually do last a long time. So even though you're paying a fair amount of money, it's kind of expensive. They do cost a bit of an arm and a leg. It is still good value for money because they last a long time. Okay, let's take a look at the next term we have here, price tag. Price tag is very simple. When you go shopping, especially in a clothing store, you always see a price tag, usually around the collar, sometimes the arm, or maybe the leg if it's pants. And the price tag will display the price of the product, right? And that's it. A receipt. A receipt is a piece of paper given in a shop as proof that you have paid for an article. Sometimes in the US they say a sales slip, but usually they just say receipt. So of course, whenever you buy something, whether it's in a restaurant, as a service or wherever, you always get a receipt, right? And that's basically like proof that you paid a certain amount of money and you paid a certain amount of tax in order to buy this product. And a lot of times, if you have problems with the product and you need to return it because you want a refund, which is the next word, you need to bring the receipt. Now, sorry guys, I have to take a short break. Give me a second here. I will be back in about Guys, welcome back to Live PST. Sorry about that. Had to run to the bathroom really quick, but I didn't waste too much time. So guys, we were looking at the vocabulary here. We were on the second page, and we're just about to take a look at refund. We just talked about receipt. So remember, receipt is basically like a paper copy of a transaction, right? Like when you paid for something, you get a receipt in return that lists the price of the product, the taxes you paid on the product, etc., etc., and you can use that receipt if you want to get a refund, which is our next term here. So a refund is money paid back to a customer who is not satisfied with an article purchased, right? So the example here says you must produce the receipt if you want to get a refund. Or basically, instead of saying produce the receipt, you must show us your receipt if you want a refund. So like I said before, you take a look at the price tag, you like the product, you go pay for it, you get a receipt, you take it home, and then it turns out this product's not good. You return it to the store because you want a refund, and you show it to them and you say, hey, I want a refund, I want my money back. Then they'll say, okay, please show us your receipt. You show them the receipt, and hopefully you will get a refund. And there you go. Next term we have here, guys, is summer or winter sales. So usually in Canada and the United States and many countries around the world, there's like one big summer sale and one big winter sale. But like I said earlier, on Monday, I believe, the two biggest sales in Canada and the United States are usually Black Friday, which occurs on the third Friday of November, or I think in America more specifically, it is the Friday of their Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving in America is in November and Thanksgiving in Canada is in October. They're on different days. But they're still the same holiday, basically. But I would say, traditionally anyhow, the best sale is Boxing Day in Canada, which is one day after Christmas, on the 26th. These days though, Boxing Day usually goes on for a week and sometime longer. But usually like Boxing Day itself is the best day. So my wife used to be really crazy about Boxing Day, and she would want to wake up like really early, like 4 in the morning, and then we'd go to a store and try to get a good deal, and sometimes it was worth it. And then other times, like, I don't know, I just hate shopping, so I didn't feel like it was worth it. Anyhow, guys, next term we have here is to shop around. To shop around. So like shop as a verb and around as its preposition. So shop around means to visit a number of different shops that are selling similar articles in order to compare the prices. So again, my wife loves to do this. She loves to shop around, sometimes online and then sometimes in actual stores. Like she'll go to this store and like look at pants, right? Then she'll go to another store and then look at pants again and then compare the prices. And then maybe she'll also go online and compare the prices online, right? So to shop around is kind of like a smart thing to do, right? I think smart shoppers shop around because they want to save money and they want to get the best product that they can. Anyhow, so that's shop around, pretty useful. Next term we have is shop assistant. Every store has like a different term for this kind of worker. A shop assistant is just a person who serves customers in a shop. They might also be called a sales representative or sales rep for short. Maybe you go to the Nike store because you want to get some Nike shoes, right? And you're interested in a product, but you need to know some more information, or you need to ask them if they have a different size, or you got to go to the bathroom, or you want to find out where the fitting room is, so you talk to the shop assistant, right? Oh, excuse me, hi there, where is your fitting room, right? Or excuse me, hi, do you have this in a size 9? Or excuse me, Mr. Sales Rep. So sales rep or shop assistant, basically anybody that works in a store that is selling a product, whether that's clothes or shoes. Somebody who works in a supermarket, though, we don't use shop assistant. We usually just say like supermarket worker or, something like that. Anyhow. Next term, guys, we have is shop till you drop. So to shop till you drop means to engage in so much shopping, to spend so much time shopping that you get completely exhausted, right? You're shopping until you drop, right? Traditionally in the past, it means like to go shopping until you die. But now it just means to go shopping until you feel really, really exhausted. And yeah, that's the explanation here. Go shopping for a very long time until you are exhausted. So the example sentence here says, if you go to London with Ashley, you will shop till you drop. So take comfortable shoes, right? Because you're going to be going to so many different shops with Ashley. I guess Ashley has an addiction problem. She's a shopaholic. Maybe she likes shopping too much, right? Oh, and that's our next term. Ashley is a shopaholic. Let's take a look at shopaholic. So remember, holic is sometimes added to the end of the word to indicate that somebody has an addiction, right? We don't use this very much though. The one it's most commonly used with is alcohol, alcoholic, right? Somebody who drinks too much liquor, too much beer, too much alcohol, right? So like alcoholic is not supposed to, like I should also tell you, it's not supposed to be a funny word. Like, ha ha ha, he drinks a lot of beer, he's an alcoholic. Well, you can say that like as a joke, like it's okay, but alcoholic is actually a pretty serious word, right? This person has a serious addiction. But we only use that with alcoholic and shopaholic. We don't say drugaholic or marijuanaholic or mushroomholic or something like that. In that case, we'll just say he or she is addicted to some substance, right? So holic, remember, it's just alcoholic and shopaholic, but a shopaholic, of course, is someone who is addicted to shopping. They like shopping too much. They probably spend too much time, too much energy, and especially too much money shopping. So our example here is Sophie's favorite pastime is shopping. She's a complete shopaholic. Oh my God, Sophie, stop spending so much time shopping and wasting money. Ah, right? You're killing your husband or boyfriend. Ah, his wallet is dying, right? So anyhow, shopaholic can be kind of fun, but it actually really can be a dangerous addiction, right? So let's move on, guys, to our last sheet here. Very exciting. What do we have? It says here, shopping spree. Now, shopping spree, we usually say to go on a shopping spree. So let me write that down just to help you guys out. To go on a shopping spree. So shopping spree is to enjoy a lively outing, usually with much spending of money, right? I don't like that explanation very much, but yeah, to go on a shopping spree just means to go out with like a lot of energy and you go shopping around, you go to all these different stores, but it also contains the idea that you are spending a lot of money, right? So there was a question yesterday that said like, if you had a lot of money, where would you like to go on a shopping spree to, right? And I think I said Best Buy because, I don't know, buy TV or something. Because I don't really like shopping. But electronic shopping, it's okay if I get the money. So anyhow, the idea here, or the example is, Lisa is planning to go on a shopping spree as soon as she gets her bonus. So Lisa's going to get her bonus payment and then immediately go on a shopping spree. Lisa, my recommendation is at least take half of your bonus and put it in the bank. Don't just spend all your money on a shopping spree. It's not smart. It's not a smart move, Lisa. Okay, next term we have here, guys, is shopping therapy. And that is the idea that buying things can make you feel better, which I think is kind of true for a lot of people. For me, it's the opposite. In general, buying things makes me feel worse because I'm like, oh, my money, my money. It depends on what we're buying. I am joking. It says here, a little shopping therapy can usually cheer up bored teenagers. But how about you guys? Do you guys sometimes engage in shopping therapy? Do you believe in shopping therapy? Does buying something make you feel better? Maybe it does. I shouldn't lie about myself either. Like, yeah, sometimes I think I engage in shopping therapy. I don't really like shopping very much, but I do sometimes like getting a nice new pair of shoes. So if I do get a nice new pair of shoes, I do feel like, yeah, this is awesome. I got a new pair of shoes. Like it's a necessity. I need it. And if it looks nice, that's great. It's like a bonus, right? Okay. Other than that, guys, next one we have is to spend money. Too easy. You guys already know what spend money means. To use money to purchase an article or service. We spend a lot of money on excursions during our trip, on outings, right? Don't spend a lot of money on alcohol. It's a waste of money. You shouldn't spend a lot of money on clothing. That's what my dad always said. And that's why my fashion is not the best. Yeah, my wife and I spend a lot of money on baby-related items, right? When you're a parent, you have to spend a lot of money on diapers. And you have to spend a lot of money on wet wipes, diapers, and then later formula, baby, how can you say, baby food? Yeah. You will definitely spend a lot of money on those items, right? Okay, anyhow, guys, next term, splash out on something. Like I said on Monday, don't recommend it. Splash money out on something. I never use this. So take a look at the next one. To take something back just means to return something that you have bought, right? You bought something, you brought it home, you find out it doesn't work, it doesn't suit you, whatever. You want to take it back, right? And then you want to show your receipt and get your refund, hopefully, right? Let's take a look at the next term. It says, that's a bargain. When you say this expression, when you say, wow, that's a bargain, what you're really saying is like, wow, that is well below the regular price, right? So basically, it's the same thing as saying, that is cheap, right? Maybe that's cheap and that's a bargain are about the same. That's dirt cheap is really cheap, and then that's a steal, super cheap. Cheap and that's a bargain, dirt cheap, that's a steal, right? That's what I want to see. Next expression is, that's a bit pricey, Very good expression. I use this a lot. Pricey has the same meaning as expensive. And if we say bit pricey, we're saying like, it's a bit expensive. Not like super expensive, a bit expensive. So you're modifying expensive. You're modifying pricey. You're not saying it's super expensive. You're not even saying it's expensive. You're saying it's a bit expensive. It's maybe a little bit more than you had imagined, right? So I use this expression a lot. Their clothes are a bit pricey, but they have a wonderful selection. Okay, so yeah, maybe like Zara, right? Zara is a bit pricey. Their clothes are more expensive than, the Gap or H&M or some other regular, like Uniqlo or some other regular clothing shop, right? They're a bit pricey, but it's pretty good value for money. Usually the quality of the clothing is a little bit better. I could be wrong. I think I only think like this because I got one jacket from Zara and it was pretty good one time, and I used it for about 3 years, and that was pretty good, and I liked it. Anyhow, so let's move on, guys. Oh, great. Now we have that expression I was talking about just before. That is dirt cheap. That's dirt cheap, right? That's dirt cheap means it costs very little. So like I said before, right? So average price, and then that's a bargain, or it's cheap. That's dirt cheap, cheaper than cheap, and then it's a steal, super cheap, right? That's a bargain, it's cheap, dirt cheap, it's a steal. All right, so this is a good expression. If you really think like, wow, like, yeah, like the example's good. 80% off, that's incredible. It's dirt cheap at that price, right? Awesome. On the other hand, we also have the expression here, that is a rip-off. Now remember, rip-off is actually the most useful expression we have here, because there's rip-off, which is the noun. And remember, rip-off basically means like a very bad deal, right? And I think they're explaining the noun form here. Yeah, it's much more expensive than it should be, but basically a very bad deal. But remember, to rip somebody off is a phrasal verb, right? That has a completely different meaning. Well, actually, it doesn't have a completely different meaning, but it does. It's a verb, and it can mean to cheat somebody. Now remember, not cheat on somebody, just like trick somebody. It usually means to charge too much money for something, right? So if I go to a store and then, let's say I'm grocery shopping, right? And usually for a tomato, I pay 50 cents. And then today I go to the grocery store and the tomato is $5, right? It's 10 times more expensive than it usually is. I say, man, that is a rip off. It's a really bad deal. Why is this tomato so expensive? It's a rip off, right? And then maybe I'd say Safeway, the name of the supermarket. Safeway is trying to rip me off. They're trying to cheat me. Damn you, Safeway. You're always trying to cheat me and take my money by charging too much money for delicious tomatoes, right? So that expression though, the verb form, if you ever feel like, well, hopefully not your friend, but if you feel like somebody is trying to take advantage of you and trick you and they're like trying to sell you a product and the price is way too high and you're feeling like, okay, this person is really trying to cheat me. They're definitely trying to trick me here. You'd say like, hey, don't try to rip me off, right? I think you're trying to rip me off because that is a rip-off, right? That is way too expensive. Stop trying to rip me off. I'm out of here, right? GTFO. Anyhow, there we go. So that's a rip-off. Really good expression, and the verb form is as well. Okay, guys, so last term we have here is window shopping. Window shopping has two meanings, right? Window shopping could mean that you need to go buy windows, right? So you go to the window store and you do some window shopping. Ha 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 ha, that's not true. Window shopping is looking at things in shop windows without actually purchasing anything. So it's like the act of going shopping without spending money, right? You're just looking at the products, probably for enjoyment, and then, you just look at the products and think, wow, I'd really like to have that, and that's an okay price, and that's a bit pricey, and that's a rip-off. But that's all it is. So the example here is, I haven't been paid yet, so I can only go window shopping. I have never done window shopping in my life because I hate shopping in general. So anyhow, guys, this vocab list, though, is super awesome. Like I said before, though, to splash out on something, this is just not an expression we use in Canada and the United States, but all these other expressions are really, really good, especially at, I have to say, rip off and to rip somebody off. Really good stuff. If you're still not clear on it, spend some time later, try to learn these words because they are really, really excellent. But what we need to do, guys, briefly before I take a break, we don't have enough time for this, but I need to explain this, is take a look at this here. The Clothes and Fashion Questionnaire. Ooh, sounds exciting, right? So for this one here, if you have a printer at home, it'd be great if you could print off a copy, right? Or you can just keep it on your computer screen and then write out your answers or sentences on your notebook. Now the idea here, it says you are going to be interviewing a partner about clothes and fashion. Write your partner's answers in the space provided, but do not write their name on the questionnaire. So basically what you do is you got these questions. What kind of clothes do you like? Describe your favorite item of clothing, etc., etc., etc. And you're going to interview somebody, right? You're going to be like a fashion journalist, right? And imagine you're interviewing your partner who is, I don't know, a fashionista or a model or something, right? Anyhow, so you're going to interview each other and you get together and you ask and answer those questions. And yeah, you write down their answer. So this would work best with a large group of people. So if you have a lot of people at home, let's say 3 or 4, you interview people and then you get the answer, and then one person, like the teacher, will collect all of them and then read them out, and then the other person, you have to guess like who said that, right? Who would dress like that and that kind of stuff. So it is actually really fun. It's kind of like, you're doing an interview first and then after it becomes a guessing game. But unfortunately, you need a lot of people to do this, right? But it is interesting. Now, maybe just to model a couple of answers here, like number 1, what kind of clothes do you like? That is a hard question for me. Okay, I like business casual clothes. Yeah, I know that's boring, but I like business casual clothes. I like being casual and business-like at the same time, even though I'm wearing a pair of Adidas shoes, which is not business casual. That's a little bit too casual. Maybe I need a new pair of shoes. But, well, it's hard to go shopping these days because of COVID, right? Anyhow, let's take a look at number 2, guys. So for number 2, we have describe your favorite item of clothing. So your favorite item of clothing means, like, is it shirts? Is it blouses? Is it skirts? Is it dresses? Is it t-shirts? Is it long sleeve shirts? Is it jeans? Is it pants? Like, what is your favorite item of clothing? Now, if within clothing it contains shoes, for me, I have to go with shoes, because even for guys that don't like fashion, every guy respects a good pair of shoes, right? So describe your favorite item of clothing. Okay, I was thinking in a little bit too much of a general way here. In general, I like shoes, yes, but this means specifically, what is your favorite item of clothing that you currently own? Okay, so my favorite item of clothing, definitely my business suit, which I do not wear very often, usually only to formal events. If I were working in a business where I had to wear a suit, I would wear it. I like business suits. I like wearing business suits, because usually if you're wearing a suit and you walk down the street, people are like, oh, look at you wearing a business suit. Now, I know if you're living in Korea or Japan, wearing a suit is ubiquitous, right? It is, ubiquitous is another word for like common or something you must do, right? So wearing a suit in Japan or Korea is like not really that special. But in a culture like, in Canada, especially Vancouver, you have to be careful about wearing a suit. If you have a professional job, yes, you must wear a suit. But if you wear a suit and your job is not very professional, people will make fun of you. They'll be like, what? Why are you wearing a suit? You're dumb, right? But for me, my favorite clothing article is a business suit. Number 3, what items of clothing would you never wear? I would never wear yoga pants. I think, now yoga pants and tights these days are super popular with women. Can accessories be a type of clothing? What about, oh, thank you, Judy. Are they a type of clothing? No, I don't think so. Are accessories a type of clothing? Okay, my gut is saying no, but well, I say definitely for purses, no. But yeah, also accessories, no. Like accessories could be things like earrings or hairband. Hairband is a kind of clothing. Sorry, Judy, but I'm gonna have to say no. But for this exercise, yes. Let's say for this exercise, yes, but yeah, wait, what was I talking about before? Yeah, I would never wear yoga pants. Guys wearing yoga pants, that's kind of gross in my opinion. I don't want to see what they're hiding, right? Anyhow, number 4. What do you usually wear to work or class? Oh, God. That is such a boring question. I usually wear a buttoned-up shirt and pants. I usually wear a buttoned-up, whoops, that looks weird, a buttoned-up shirt and, I don't know, khakis. I guess that's my answer, yeah. And of course, socks and underwear and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to write everything down, right? Okay, maybe one more quick one. What color do you like to wear? I like to wear the color, and we're going to spell color like a good Canadian with a U. I like to wear the color blue. I don't know why. Blue or green or like whatever is really fine, but yeah. Okay, guys. So these are just my answers for the first 5. This is good practice. Why don't you guys try to fill in all the answers here? But keep in mind, in order to do this activity, you actually need a large group of people because you should have like 5 to 10 people. Everybody should fill it out and then hand it into a teacher or designated person. Then a designated person, oh, sorry. What am I doing again? So, sorry. You need to interview somebody, get their answers, and then after you're done, you hand it into the designated person. And then the designated person will read out the answers, and then they will, and then you guys guess like, oh wow, who wrote that, right? And then yeah, you can make a guess based upon how you think your fellow students dress up. And yeah, that's pretty good. But we're going to stop it with the clothes and fashion questionnaire right there, guys, because we're almost heading into our break. After the break, guys, our elective for today is not like super exciting, but it is a useful elective. We're taking a look at a breaking news English reading article. So we're going to be doing some reading. It looks pretty good. We're going to be talking about Amazon, so that should be quite interesting. We will see how it goes. And actually, this is something that I am interested in. It's the kind of cashierless technology, so you don't have to talk to somebody. Because when you go shopping, you don't really want to talk to anybody, right? I don't want to talk to the sales rep, and I certainly don't want to talk to a cashier. If I can go shopping and not talk to anybody, I'm going to be happy. So anyhow, that's me. Let's take a break. We'll look at this after the break. Okay. Bye. Bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome back to Live PST. We are now in our third class on Thursday, September 3rd. And it's time to do some reading for our elective. So please take a look at this sheet here. It says Breaking News English, and the title of the article is Amazon Starts Selling Cashier-Less Technology. Wow, cool, right? So this should be a lot of fun. Now, Breaking News English, just make sure you don't break anything while you're listening to Breaking News English, right? Try to stay calm. Ha 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 ha. Okay, all right, now actually this article is pretty good because it's very recent. If you guys take a look beneath the title, Amazon Starts Selling Cashier-Less Technology, is from the 12th of March 2020. So kind of like right before the coronavirus really hit and people started freaking out, right? Legitimately freaking out. But anyhow, of course, what we need to do here, guys, is we need to read this article, right? So I'm going to read it. You guys, it would be good practice for you at home to read along with me. I'll try to read at a reasonable pace, not too fast and not too slow, right? So here we go. It says, the online retail giant Amazon will start selling its cashier-less technology to any store or retail outlet that wants it. The software is called Just Walk Out. The software means stores do not need any cashiers. Shoppers simply scan a smartphone app when they arrive at a store and then put their shopping in their bag and just walk out of the store. That's pretty cool, eh? The software automatically calculates the cost of the customer's shopping and charges the cost of their shopping to the customer's Amazon account. The new software will allow customers to have their credit card or other payment card deducted instead. Amazon has been using the software for the past 2 years in its own Go Grocery stores. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. Actually, that's really, really interesting. Like, you guys know these days when we go shopping, like, of course you can still go up to the till, speak to a cashier, and they will, scan your items and then it will charge you and you will pay. But also now there's like the automated or like automatic tills, right? Where you go up and then you scan the items, you put them in the bag, and then you pay the bill. But the difference here with these Amazon Go Grocery stores is, I think, like, yeah, you scan your Amazon app when you enter, then you get your cart, you put whatever you want into your cart, and then you don't actually have to talk to a cashier. It's cashier-less. There's no cashier, right? But also, you're not using one of the automated cashiers either. You just exit, and when you're exiting, I think they scan all the items in your bag or in your carrier or whatever, and then it's removed from your Amazon account or your deducted from your Amazon account or your credit card. So it kind of makes shopping a little bit more convenient because you can just go in, scan your phone, get your stuff, and get out, right? So it's pretty cool. And actually, it's also really useful right now because of COVID-19, the coronavirus. We want to limit human contact. So these kind of stores are actually really useful right now. It's like really good technology. And yeah, I don't know, if you're like a really introverted person, like I sometimes am, sometimes I'm introverted. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. You don't have to talk to anybody, right? I hope they have this in like clothing stores and shoe stores, because every time I go to a clothing store, or shoe store especially, some guy's like, hey man, can I help you? What are you looking for, dude? Hey, how about this? And I'm like, oh man, don't talk to me, right? Anyhow, that's just me. No, I respect sales representatives in shoe stores. They work very hard. Anyhow, guys, the last paragraph here, the second paragraph says, the Just Walk Out software will reduce the amount of employees a store needs. Instead, the store will need to put hundreds of small cameras on the ceiling. The cameras link to software that detects what customers have put into their bag. The software then bills the customer and issues a receipt online. An industry expert expects Amazon to make a lot of money from selling the software to other stores. Many stores want to remove one of the biggest things customers complain about: slow checkouts. Or cashiers, anyhow. Amazon said the software will allow store staff to focus on more valuable activities. However, a retail expert worries that there will be fewer jobs as automation comes in. Okay, so yeah, this is a really interesting article, right? And that would be one of my concerns, that if you don't need to use the cashier, and if you don't have to use even the automatic machine, then they will not need to hire so many people to work at Safeway or London Drugs or whatever kind of grocery store, or maybe drugstore as well, right? So that will reduce the number of workers needed, so that means maybe people will lose their jobs, right? And then teenagers won't be able to work, people who are teenagers or in their 20s or whatever won't be able to work in a supermarket. And yeah, that's sad. Of course, there will still be workers in the supermarket who are stocking shelves and stuff, but maybe their jobs will also disappear to robots in like 10 years, right? Oh my God, that's okay for me, but that's not good for people who want to work at supermarkets. Okay guys, now we have a lot of different activities here and we don't have enough time to do every activity. The writing activity is awesome, but we definitely don't have time for that. It says they're writing, there is too much technology replacing too many jobs. This is wrong. Discuss, right? It's a really interesting topic, right? So you need to agree or disagree with this in your writing, right? You need to say like, I agree that there is too much technology replacing too many jobs. The reasons why is because da 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 da. Or maybe you say, I disagree that there is too much technology replacing too many jobs. So I think like that topic, automation, is a pretty big topic these days, right? And I think, yeah, it really is coming very soon. And it looks like it's going to hit supermarkets first, and supermarkets won't have to hire as many workers. But the other big one is the trucking industry, right? Driving trucks from one city to another to deliver goods. They're going to be making, and they've already made like AI-controlled trucks, right? Semi-trucks that can deliver goods from one city to another. So I think people who are thinking like, hey, I want to be a trucker when I get older, that job might not exist. And actually, that's a pretty good paying job. So I think it's sad, but I think those jobs will disappear like within the next 10 years. And also for supermarkets. And that will increase unemployment. And that will cause some trouble for sure, right? Increased unemployment means more people staying home watching Netflix and drinking and getting pregnant. Maybe that part's okay though. But anyhow, yeah, automation is a really big topic and a lot of people are very worried about the effects it will have on working class people. But we'll see what happens, right? So really cool writing article or writing assignment activity, but we don't have time. So let's take a look, guys. Chat says, talk about these words from the article. Basically, we just need to take a look at these words and make sure that you guys understand them. So the first word is online. I think you guys know what online is. Everything you do on the internet is done online. Next term here is retail. Retail store. Retail is any kind of store or online store or whatever that sells something, right? A lot of us work in retail, right? Maybe when we're younger, maybe when we're older, whatever. We work for H&M or Gap or Uniqlo or something like that, right? And we work in retail. I never worked in retail. When I was a teenager, I worked in the fast food industry, right? Pretty boring. Sometimes fun though. Sometimes we played baseball with knives instead of baseball bats and tomatoes instead of baseballs. So that was fun. Anyhow, next term, guys, is giant. Now, giant, remember, can be a noun and an adjective. If you say he is a giant, right? A giant is like a really big person, right? Like really scary. I would say like a lot of NBA basketball players are giants. Like to me, they're like really, really tall because I'm relatively short. I am just a little bit taller than Tom Cruise. But anyhow, that's me. The adjective, it's a giant cat. So it can also be used as an adjective, of course. As an adjective, it means something like massive, huge, really big. Anyhow, next term is technology. You guys already know what technology is. Skip, cashier. A cashier is a person who works in a store at the till or at the checkout counter. And they beep, beep, they scan your items and they charge you. You pay, they give you a receipt and they say, hey, have a nice day, right? And you say like, oh, thank you very much, you too, right? And there you go. So that's a cashier. Next one is app. App is short for application, which usually refers to software application. On everybody's smartphone, we have tons of apps, right? If I open up my phone here, what do I have? Oh, a message from my wife. Children are going crazy. Deal with that one later. But yeah, I have lots of apps here, like, well, none of my apps are interesting. Trello, Fly Delta, New York Times, Play Music, Bitmoji. I don't even know what that's for. My banking app. My life is really boring. Oh, Uber app, pretty awesome. Uber, big fan. My Shaw app for my terrible internet provider that really sucks and is always late helping me out. But anyhow, yeah, software, apps, pretty good. Next term we have here is store. Everybody's okay with store. Software is the opposite of hardware, right? Hardware is real physical things, right? If we're talking about computer hardware, that means like the monitor, the keyboard, the desktop, and like what's inside, like the CPU and this kind of stuff. Software is all of the things that are displayed on your computer or displayed through your phone, right? So like Microsoft Word or your internet browser, you probably use Google Chrome. If you don't use Google Chrome, you're like 10 or 15 years behind. If you're using Internet Explorer, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's just old technology, right? Next term we have here is customer. Any person who goes to a store to buy something is a customer, right? We are all customers when we go to Safeway. We don't go to Dangerous Way because Dangerous Way is too dangerous and you know you might get cut when you go inside. Safeway is a very safe supermarket, right? And when you go to Safeway, you are a customer. Or if you go to H&M, you are a customer. Next term we have is credit. Well, credit is related to, credit can mean just money, but credit card basically means like money card, right? Through Visa or MasterCard and American Express or whatever. They give you a certain amount of money that you can borrow or a certain amount of credit, and therefore it's called a credit card. Employees, if you work somewhere, you're an employee, right? Yeah, you guys are fine. Next term, cameras. We all know what that means. Ceiling, right? The ceiling is not the wall, right? You know, usually in a room you have 4 walls or maybe more. It depends on how the room is designed. But you only have one ceiling, right? Ceiling is the opposite of floor. You got the floor on the ground and you got the ceiling up top, right? And yeah, that's it. Receipt, we've already talked about receipt. Bill. Bill is the name of my uncle. Don't really like him very much. He's a little bit of a bully. But anyhow, well, actually that's kind of true. I was going to say that's a joke, but it's kind of true. Bill is what you get in a restaurant, right? You go to the restaurant, you order food, you get the food, you eat the food, you enjoy the food, hopefully. And then you ask for the bill. And that's a really interesting cultural difference between different countries, like how you get the bill or how you get the waiter or waitress to come to your table, right? Like in Canada, what you're supposed to do is just make eye contact, right? So you look at your waiter or waitress and you're like this, right? And then sometimes you put your hand up, like, right? But that's kind of rude in Canada. You should just make eye contact, right? But I know in other cultures, like in Korea, it's okay, you put your hand up and you say like, Yogi-o or Chogi-o, Agashi, or Ajuma, or Ajashi, or Yogi-o, guy, right? and you ask them to come over. So it's okay to actually like say something, like almost shout it. I think shouting is maybe not a good. I don't know in Japan. Oh, in Japan actually, I don't. Yeah, no. Usually in Japan, if I'm not with my wife, I usually kind of do something between the Korean way and the Canadian way. Usually I'll go like, "Sumimasen, sumimasen, gomennasai. Hi, watashi wa yada yada bill," right? And then I'll get the bill. Why am I talking about this? Okay, yeah, so the bill is just a list of the things you need to pay for, right? And after that, we have expert. An expert is someone who is very knowledgeable about a certain field, right? If you are an expert when it comes to airplanes, you know a lot about airplanes and how they're designed and maybe how to use them, right? If you're an expert when it comes to, I don't know, chemistry, you know and you're very knowledgeable about chemistry, right? If you're an expert when it comes to cooking, you're a really good cook and you know how to cook really, really well, right? And yeah, so expert. I am not an expert when it comes to fashion, right? I don't know much about clothing. I know that I need clothes, but I don't know about how to wear clothes well. That's what my wife tells me. Anyhow, after this, guys, we have complain. Complain is a very, very useful word, right? Now, complain is a verb. To complain, right? Everybody complains about something sometimes, right? So just remember, complain is a verb, and complain is to make a complaint, right? That doesn't help you very much. Like if I don't know complain, I don't know what complaint is. Complaint is the noun. Complain is the verb. When you complain about something, you are maybe upset about something, right? Like maybe in the restaurant, you've been waiting too long. The waiter is ignoring you. They're not responding to your eye contact, right? You're like, and they're just not responding to you. You're like, oh man, I am really upset, right? So they're like, hey, could I talk to the manager? And like, I've been trying to make eye contact with your waiter for 10 minutes and they haven't responded to me, blah, 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 right? I am complaining, right? Sometimes my wife complains about my cooking, right? Sometimes I cook something and it doesn't taste good. And she says, this food doesn't taste good. You need to take cooking classes. You should learn how to cook better. Where did you learn how to cook? Didn't your mom teach you how to cook? Da, 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 da. Complain, 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 right? Or maybe I complain sometimes about, what do I complain? I complain a lot, actually. That's not good. But usually I'm just joking. But I complain a lot about, so of course in the school we have a kids class. We have wonderful children. They are really great. But sometimes they're too loud, right? So usually I complain to my coworkers about the kids. Like, oh man, those kids are too loud. I really wish they'd be quiet. Jeez, right? I'm complaining. So complain is something we do very regularly. I think all of us complain quite a lot. You guys know staff member, somebody who works for a store. And lastly, automation, which I already wrote on the board. But automation is that process where real living people who are working somewhere are going to be replaced by machines, right? Or AI, right? And then we are going to lose our jobs, and in the future, instead of listening to me talking about whatever on an online video, you will be listening to a computer teach you English, because maybe the computer will be better. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, guys, so we got our vocab done. We talked about the writing, which you guys could do at home, which would be very useful, actually. It would be good practice. Let me just erase these two words here on the board. And I think we need to do our true or false questions. Let's take a look-see here. So I'm just going to call TFQs, right? True, false questions, because I'm lazy. And A here. Amazon will not sell its cashierless technology to its rivals. So is this true or is this false? Maybe we got to look back at the article, right? But if we think about the title, Amazon starts selling cashierless technology. Of course they're selling this, right? Probably also to their rivals. But also, rival is a good term. What is a rival? Somebody who is a rival or a rival company is someone who is opposed to you. They are competing with you, right? So Amazon's rivals would be companies like maybe Walmart, right? Or in Japan, Rakuten, or in Korea, maybe Naver sells things online. I don't know. I know in Korea actually there's a lot of like online stores, so there'd be a lot of competition. Or in Brazil, actually I don't know in Brazil or Chile, but maybe there's some kind of competitor. There's a rival, right? Or if you have a rival in your personal life, it's someone who you feel competitive with, right? And maybe you don't like them, right? So yeah, actually I have a rival. There's this guy sometimes that walks by my workplace outside, and I don't know why. He always looks at me and I don't like him, and he knows that. And he doesn't like me, and I see him once in a while, and he goes to this bar kind of close to our workplace called Preston's, and I saw him there last week, and he mouthed something to me. He went, and I know what that means. I hope you guys don't, but I don't know why he did that to me. So he's my rival. I don't like him. What am I doing here? Amazon will not sell its cashier-less technology to its rival. No, this is totally false, because it says the online retail giant Amazon will start selling its cashier-less technology to any store or retail outlet that wants it. So totally false. They'll sell it to anybody. B, Amazon's cashier-less technology is called Just Walk Through. Is it called Just Walk Through? I don't think so. I think this is false, but let's double check. Look through the article, scan through it. Oh, the software is called Just Walk Out. Oh, yeah. Just Walk Out. Okay, and B is Just Walk Through. So no, this is false, because it's actually called Just Walk Out, not Just Walk Through. Actually, I think Just Walk Through is better, but anyhow, let's take a look at C. Shoppers put shopping in their bag and walk out of the store. I think this is true. I'm going to go out on a whim here and say this is definitely true, but just to be careful, we'll double check. No. Shoppers simply scan a smartphone app when they arrive at the store and then put their shopping in their bag and just walk out of the store. Shoppers put shopping in their bag and walk out of the store. Yeah, it's true, right? Yeah. Okay, good. D. The new Amazon technology only accepts payment by credit card. Again, I don't think that's true. It's either credit card or your Amazon account, right? So the software automatically calculates the cost of the customer's shopping and charges the cost of their shopping to the customer's Amazon account. The new technology or the new software will allow customers to have their credit card or other payment card deducted instead. So it could maybe be just your bank card. So yeah, no, not just credit card. Okay, let's take a look at E. The technology makes use of hundreds of cameras. Totally true. Go on with true here. Now, I don't remember where it says this, but instead the store will need to put hundreds of small cameras on the ceiling. Yeah, they need to put hundreds of small cameras on the ceiling that are watching you while you're shopping. Is that creepy? Yes. Is it useful? Yes. But anyhow, yeah, that is true. Let's take a look at F. Shoppers receive a bill online for their shopping. I think this is true. Yeah, the software then bills the customer and issues a receipt online. Shoppers receive a bill online for their shopping. They receive a bill online. No, I don't think so. They get a receipt, but do they get a bill? Do they get my Uncle Bill? No, they must see the bill. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, true. Let's take a look at G. Many stores want to remove checkouts. Totally true. Now, I know that off the top of my head because, of course, they don't have the checkouts. you know, customers sometimes complain like, oh, the checkout line is too long. I don't want to wait. Wah, 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 right? If they can eliminate the checkout lines, then fewer people will complain about that. So that's a good thing for them. And also then they don't need to hire cashiers, so they save more money. Dum, dum, dum. So yeah, that is definitely true. H. An expert is worried the software will cut the number of jobs. Definitely true. Just to double check really quickly. Yeah, very last sentence, guys. However, a retail expert worries that there will be fewer jobs as automation comes in. So ding, 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 and true. Now, if we want to check our answers, of course, on the other page at the bottom right, we have the answers for the true or false. So let's see here. False, false, true, false. E, where am I? E, yeah. True, good. True, good. True, true. Too many trues, right? Anyhow, guys, so we got our true or false questions done. Hip, hip, hooray. Let's take a look at our synonym match. Now, remember, synonym match is not cinnamon match, right? Cinnamon match would be delicious. You match cinnamon with buns, you get cinnamon buns. And they're pretty tasty. Or cinnamon with maybe Cheerios. Cinnamon Cheerios. Yummy, yummy, right? But this is synonym match. This is not cinnamon match. Synonym match is words of a similar meaning and matching them up. Cinnamon match is a fun game you play at home with the spice called cinnamon, where you match it with a food and then you try it out and see if it's good or not. Okay, synonym match. And number one is start. So we have to look at the other side and figure out which word is a good synonym match for start. Which word has a similar meaning to start? So looking over on the right-hand side, we've got sends out, price, specialist, number, named, takeaway, subtracted, begin. To begin and to start. All right. We got it. That's our synonym. So our answer should be H, begin. All right, let's take a look at number two. What do we got? We got called. Called. Okay, so what would be a good synonym for called? Sends out, price, specialist, number, named. You know, they call it this. It's called Safeway. It's named Safeway, right? Yeah, pretty good. So definitely for number two, E, named. Okay, let's take a look, guys. Number three, we got calculates, right? That's usually what you're doing. Like when you're doing math, you will calculate the number. You will do calculations, right? Or I think all of us, we do some little calculations in our head every day when we're thinking about the price of a product or something like that. So calculates. Sends out, price, specialist, Oh wait, I'm not thinking about this too much. But yeah, number, named, yeah, we don't know, that's not right. Takeaway, subtracted. Yeah, so subtracted is related to subtract. It's a mathematical symbol, right? To subtract that, or minus. So yeah, it should be subtracts, and that is G. Okay, let's take a look at number four. We have cost. Cost here. Cost. And how much does it cost? What is the price? So B should be our answer here. All right. Actually, I should be marking these off because I'm very forgetful. What do we got? We got price, subtracted. Whoops, sorry guys. Subtracted and named. Sorry, I'm having like a brain fart, and begin. Okay. Anyhow, let's take a look at. Oh! Sorry guys, I was moving too quickly. I made a mistake. Bleh. My mistake, because, sorry, number 5, we have, sorry guys, very tired. Number 5, we have deducted. No. Wait a second. No. Yeah, deducted. Yeah, it should be subtracted. Yeah, my mistake. So we'll have to go back to the other one after. Subtracted. Okay. Sorry, guys. My mistake. Number 6, we have amount. A certain amount of something. So what would amount be related to? Amount or number, right? What is the amount of that? Or what is the number, right? So number is D. Okay, let's take a look at number 7. We have link. Link can be like a connection. So, oh yeah, that's too easy. So it is I connect. And then number 8, issues. Issues, of course, can be like problems, but issue has like a couple of different meanings, right? Issues, number, Okay, sends out, no. Price, no. Specialist, no. Number, name, taken away, subtracted, begin, connect, works out. Actually, guys, I'm going to skip this one. This synonym match is actually a little bit hard for me as well. Oh, dear. And I'm a native English speaker. Remove. Remove would be closest to taken away, or to take away. F. Take away. And 10, expert. Expert is somebody who's very knowledgeable about something, or they are a specialist. C. Okay, guys, so I made a mistake with 2 of these, so we've got 2 that we got to figure out, calculate and issue. So by process of elimination here, of course, what am I thinking? To issue something like, okay, I was thinking about issue like the noun form, like to have a problem, to have an issue, right? But to issue something can also mean to like assign something or to send something out. So issue should be A. Sends out. Wow, massive brain fart today. And calculate by process of elimination. Wait, do we use price? Yeah, of course we use price. Specialist, number. We use number? Oh yeah, we did use number. And named, take away, subtracted was deducted. Begin, works out. Meh? I don't like this answer. Maybe I am making a mistake somewhere. Works out, to calculate something, or to work. Like, yeah, it can be used like this. Like, I need to calculate the cost, right? I need to work out the cost. Yeah, it kind of works out, but yeah, that's not a very good synonym match. Not a good synonym match for us today, guys. But we got it done. Okay, now there is a discussion here, guys, for student A, and on the other page, a discussion for student B. These discussions are really good, but I would just be modeling the answer for you guys. That doesn't really mean very much. So I think what we should do instead, guys, is please skip to the back side or the other page, and we're going to take a look at the phrase match, because that is probably more worthwhile or worth your time. So let me erase this here, and let's take a look at phrase match. So basically, you're just matching what you see on the left with the rest of the sentence on the right. And of course, all these sentences are contained in the article. So sometimes we might need to take a look back and look at the actual article in order to get the answer. So let's take a look at phrase match. Okay, and number 1, numero uno. The online retail what? Automation comes for the past 2 years. Complain about a store needs, need any cashiers, and issues a receipt. Giant Amazon. The online retail giant Amazon. That sounds pretty good. The online retail on the ceiling, the cost account. So I think our answer for number 1 is definitely G, right? The online retail, well, maybe I'll write the full, no, it's unnecessary to write the full answer. But the online retail giant Amazon, right? And that's what I think it says. Yeah, the beginning of the article says the online retail giant Amazon. Amazon is a giant. It is a really big company, right? Anyhow, let's take a look at number 2. The software means stores do not need any cashiers E, right? So, let's just put the answer. I'm going to get a little bit lazy. The software means stores do not need any cashiers. Excellent. Number 3, the software automatically calculates what? What does it calculate? It calculates the cost, right? The software means stores do not need any cashiers. Shoppers, just walk out of the store. The software automatically calculates the cost. Yes. So, I. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. The customer's Amazon what? Ooh, number 4 is a little bit of a tricky one. The customer's Amazon account, I believe. The customer's Amazon account. Yeah, just J. Okay, there we go. And number 5, Amazon has been using the software, I think it's been B for the past 2 years. So our answer is B for the past 2 years. And number 6, reduce the amount of employees a store needs. So number 6 is D. Because if they have the software, they can reduce the amount of employees a store needs. Okay, let's take a look at 7. Put hundreds of small cameras on the ceiling. H. Okay, 8. The software then bills the customer and issues a receipt. F. Excellent. Okay, number 9. One of the biggest things customers complain about, C. And by process of elimination, of course, number 10, there will be fewer jobs as automation continues. Where? Yeah, automation comes. Okay, guys, so we got our phrase match done. It was worthwhile. I think it's good to look at this stuff. We could also do the spelling is a good review of the vocab, but I think we've spent enough time looking at the vocabulary here. Why don't we take a look at the discussion for student B, and I'll run through some of this, and then we'll wrap up today's class, right? Because I'm going to be honest here, I'm extremely tired today, and that's why I'm having so many brain farts and not really teaching the best that I usually can. I'm kind of dying. Okay. So let's take a look, guys, at discussion for student B, or student B discussion. The questions are good. What do you think of Amazon? I think Amazon is a very convenient, useful website, but in Canada, they're not that great. The prices are not that cheap, and usually delivery times are too long. If I lived in America, I think Amazon in the US is pretty awesome. It's pretty cheap, and deliveries are fast. I know in Amazon Japan, like in Japan, Amazon is also pretty awesome in Japan. It's really fast, and the prices are also cheap. But in Canada, I gotta be honest, if you live in a big city in Canada, you don't need Amazon. You could just go shopping in a physical store or that store's online site. Because usually Amazon is actually not cheap here. You can find things for cheaper prices in the physical store, and then the delivery times kind of suck. So My opinion about Amazon is that it is convenient but not very good in Canada. Do you prefer online shopping or shopping in stores? These days, of course, because of coronavirus, I much prefer online shopping because I don't need to go somewhere and talk to people. That puts me at risk, and if I'm at risk, my family's at risk. So these days I prefer online shopping, and of course, through online shopping, it's much easier to shop around and look at prices of products in different online stores and compare them and find a good deal. So I guess I prefer online shopping, but again, I don't like any kind of shopping, but yeah, online is all right. What do you think of Cashiers? I don't really think about Cashiers very much. I have no problem with Cashiers. I prefer to use human cashiers rather than the automatic machines, because human cashiers, usually they're kind of faster than I am with the automatic machines, and sometimes cashiers are really nice, sometimes they're not nice. I don't know, they're human. I worked in fast food when I was a kid, so I know people can suck and people complain for no good reason sometimes. So sometimes I feel bad for cashiers when they have a bad customer and the customer is complaining blah blah blah, and I know that the cashier can't do anything or that it's not their fault. So I think if you work in retail or if you work in a restaurant, you learn to be nicer to cashiers or service workers because the job is not really fun and it can kind of suck sometimes. Anyhow, D, what do you think of cashierless stores? I think the idea, the Go, what do they call them? Amazon's Go grocery stores are really interesting, actually. I like the idea of the software behind it is interesting, but yeah, I wish there was one close to my apartment so I could just walk in, scan my phone, get my groceries, and then just walk out. I think it's super convenient. Yeah, I think actually the idea of cashierless stores is pretty cool. Yeah, I do feel bad because a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, but this might be something that is, we would say, inevitable. Inevitable. And inevitable is an adjective. And if we say something is inevitable, it means something will happen. It cannot be stopped, right? Oh, it's inevitable, right? We're all going to die. It's inevitable. We will die at some point. Hopefully not tomorrow or next week or next year. Hopefully in 40 years. No, a little bit longer. 45 or 50 years. Okay. Would you prefer to have cashiers in stores? Yes and no. I think it depends on a store. For grocery stores, I'd say no. Because I like the idea that I can just go in, get my groceries, and get out, right? That is convenient. But other stores, yeah, sometimes I do need to ask questions or see if I can get a deal or something like that. So for other stores, I'd prefer to have a cashier. Hard to explain. F, what are the bad things about this technology? Well, we've already talked about it. Some of the bad things of this technology is that people will lose their jobs, and then those companies will not be hiring cashiers in the future. And those jobs, sometimes people are in between jobs or they don't know what they want to do in their lives. So they work as a cashier, and that's okay, right? Everybody needs a job that pays money. So yeah, I think that part of the technology sucks. People will lose their jobs. That's too bad. I hope that doesn't happen, but it looks like it's inevitable. I think it will happen. G, do you prefer to pay by cash or card? I don't really care whether I pay by cash or card. Card is easier. It's, maybe card. What do you think of shopping? I hate shopping. It just gives me a headache. It's boring. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I like shopping for maybe electronics or sometimes furniture. I like going to IKEA sometimes. It's not bad. All right, guys, so that's my answers for discussion student B. Sorry guys, that probably wasn't very interesting for you guys. But yeah, I guess that's about it for today. I know we're ending a little bit earlier. It's 44 right now. Maybe let me explain the rest of the stuff here. You guys could do the spelling, Of course, the spelling here is mixed up. You need to unmix it. You need to reorganize it to make the word correct. So like number 1 here, you got the online lettre giant Amazon. So the obvious answer here, well, obvious for me, is the online retail giant Amazon. Or 2, stores do not need any what? Stores do not need any cashiers. So to get hints about this, you just take a look back at the article. If you can organize the letters correctly into a word without looking at the article, that's really good, right? But try your best. Now, besides that, of course, you also have discussion for student A, which is interesting. You also have the role play. So if you do have more than one person at home, hopefully 4 people at home, you could cut these cards out here. And the role play for like role A says, you think Amazon is the best store. Tell the others 3 reasons why. Tell them what is wrong with their stores. Also tell the others which is the worst of these and why. The Disney store, IKEA, or 7-Eleven. Role B, you have the Disney store. You think the Disney store is the best store. Tell the others 3 reasons why. So same thing, but you got the Disney store. Role C, IKEA. You think IKEA is the best store. You know, tell 3 reasons why. Say why the other stores suck. And then role D, 7-Eleven. You think 7-Eleven is the worst here, right? So this would be a fun role play if you have. You could just do this with 2 people and you each just take 1 role. Or ideally you have 4 people, divide it into 4, and you actually do it. It could be really, really fun. The speaking is also quite interesting, actually. Rank these with your partner. Put the best stores at the top. Change partners often and share your items. So this one here should be pretty easy. I think just do it individually. You do it, and then your partner does it, and then compare and explain the reasons why, right? So if you have to choose the best stores here, you got IKEA, 7-Eleven, Costco, Uniqlo, Amazon, McDonald's, Disney Store, and Apple Store. Ugh, yeah, that's actually really hard because I don't really like any of these very much. Yeah, but anyhow, you could do this one here and then mix it up with a partner and see how it goes. Yeah. And yeah, that's about it for today, guys. Yeah, I think the speaking would definitely be worth it though if you have a partner, and the role play. But let's stop here for today, guys. I think that is quite enough. Now remember, tomorrow we're gonna probably be doing review in 2 classes and then kind of a fun elective, hopefully. Maybe it's music listening, I can't remember. But also you guys will have to, well, if you did your homework for the listening, you can submit it tomorrow. And you'll be taking a quiz tomorrow. So it'd be a good idea if you have extra time tonight, review the vocabulary that we went over today, like bargain hunting and that kind of stuff. And also make sure you review modals, right? We talked about modals a lot this week. Do your review, and you guys should do pretty good on tomorrow's quiz, and everything will be wunderbar, or wonderful, as the Germans would say, right? So yeah, guys, that's about it for me today, though. I'm just gonna erase the board, and then I think my coworker is gonna come over and turn off the video, but we will see what happens. Maybe they won't come over immediately. I'm not sure. Let's see how it goes. I don't have anything else to talk about. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just super tired today. Had to do a bunch of I had to do moving the day before, but we were maybe not too smart because we left the couch in my old apartment, and then the couch, of course, is the heaviest thing to move. So it was pretty painful. It was a big pain in the neck moving that couch, and it was kind of painful. So today I didn't sleep well last night for some reason, even though I was super tired, and that's why I had a lot of brain farts today. But yeah, I think that about does it for me today, guys. I hope you have a fun day. Of course, stay safe, avoid COVID, wear a mask, and yeah, I hope you guys have fun. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. So bye-bye for now.